Hey, what's up, ninjas? It's Cmanvlogga. Thank you for clicking on a video.
Like growing up, I didn't know I was poor.
Growing up, I didn't know I was poor. Growing up, I didn't know I was poor. Like growing up, I didn't know I was poor.
So the problem that we got right now is that I still have to do something with this area, so I have my place to actually sit and make videos.
Like growing up, I didn't know I was poor.
Alright, so I grew up on a reservation, and I think for the most part, poor never crossed your mind. Like, yeah, you couldn't have birthdays, Christmas wasn't really a thing, other holidays weren't really a thing, except for Halloween. It's just the way it was, you know. I was already a realist as a little kid. Like, getting handed down shoes was a thing. Sheesh, like second, third grade, and I was handed down some size 12s because I had no shoes to school. Yeah, that was just our reality. One day, like how I got a bike was, I'll go up to the gravel pits. It's a place where people dump all their garbage, and you just go look for pieces. Then you put them all together. You find a nice frame, or look for tires later on, and it's, yeah, you just put it together, then you fix it up, you find some grease, and you go. Start biking around. You may do jackknife, you may mess up, you may hurt yourself, but that's just the way it was, living that life. And you never looked at you being poor, or your family being poor. I just had a conversation with one of my old reservation buddies. He's a couple years younger than me, but then like I made a post on Facebook. It's a little bit of funny to me that I heard from a show I was watching. Got a couple reactions, and then he commented on and switched it up into what it looks like. And so we talked about Farina and just how Farina was relative to us, and like Farina was our word for it, but then when you find a little money, you got malto meal. It was like, that's the same stuff, but they're selling it better, and it comes in chocolate flavor.
I didn't know how poor I was till they transferred me to another school. And me and my friends were the only ones in that school standing in line for free lunch.
Yeah, so then my first time when I went to high school, I didn't go to the reservation high school because that was pretty awful. Like, it was bad. It was in the 80s, and it was the stereotypical horror story. So I went to the local off the reservation public school, and over there it didn't look like people were wealthier. There were a lot of farmers, so you know, kids would come to school with dirty clothes, and that was kind of all right. And it was just what expected, because a lot of them would be doing farm work before they came to school, and so they'd smell like cows, our farms, you know. It was just a thing. So like even our lunchroom only had 4 of those small tables in there, and it was dark lit, and you just didn't feel out of place there. I know I'm probably late on this, but putting aluminum foil, the non-stick side, up, so much better. Like, stuff just dries up. What the room looks like today so far. Someone brought up the question, like, why don't I use dressers? Well, but for me, I like my shirts hanging up, like to look at them. I like things at eye level, you know, so I don't like reaching way down there to dig and find stuff. So I got my pants, got my intimates, got my sweats, got my socks, pants and shorts, my towels, my hats, my keys to go. And over here, I got my little reselling setup. Got my printer, the poly bags that I bag them in, and the bubble wrap, the big bubble wrap that I use for certain items, and my tape, and my fringe cutter, or fuzzy thing cutter, you know. I got this here for my letters and bills, just because I never really had a spot to put them. They just get mixed up and stuff.
And I was out of breath. Oh, I ran for nothing. Never first. We didn't know we were poor. We felt sorry for those kids. Hey, that's sad how they all have to pay. Fucking losers.
But it wasn't until I was in 10th grade that I transferred. It was when I actually transferred to a different high school, and it was a lot bigger. And you could see all the sections of different groups and how students, they section themselves, you know. And so I was part of the intermediate group and table, but you could see where like the preps and the wealthier kids, they had these back tables, this whole area, and they had a whole different line. And I'm like, wait, what? You guys can buy food here? And they're like, yeah, that's what the rich kids buy. It's like, we go to this line where it's free food. I was like, wait, what? And that's where I started seeing a lot more people dressing nicer and dressing different, and you know, all makeup, and like it was a culture shock for me. And I was like, whoa, I felt poor. Like, even the fact when a high school student, my first game of football practice, took me home to the apartments, and they lived across the other side of town in the wealthy area, but he picked me up in a Corvette. He drove me home in a Corvette. That's when you know you're poor. That's when you start feeling it, you know. Okay, some of you might know that. Oh, there's a freaking daddy long leg in there. So back to it. Some of y'all may have remembered that I had a bigger table that we used to have in the living room, but family time kind of went away. So because we weren't using the table no more, I needed a table out in my shop. Instead of just having that table just sit there, I put the legs to use. Found this big drawer somewhere. I said this would be this perfect size. Well, I reached the point of this part in completion. Got my backlight and candle burning for smell goods, and I got my 62-inch newer light. But that's how it goes. This is my room for now. But yeah, so I thought this was interesting concept into adulthood. It's like where you're feeling like you're poor, and when you reach adulthood, like my lifestyle is very, like I came to a point in my life where like I don't gotta hustle. Like all my kids were old, they could start providing for themselves. They can go to work, and if they don't want to work, then like, okay, you're just gonna get the minimum. You have the opportunity to provide more for yourself at this point. Like, yeah, just I've always been hustling, and down here I finally found a niche to hustle on which is reselling, and it's doable, and I've been able to maintain it throughout the year. It has its real low ends, but it does have some pretty good highs. Not too much right now, but I'm totally fine as long as I can pay the bills, as long as I can pay the rent, as long as I can buy some groceries. And I was able to manage getting and making Christmas happen for my 2 boys that live with me. Yeah, I thought I'd bring you along so I can see the progress and the change that I've made. Actually having a set place where I can get stuff done feels a lot better. That's that. That's my setup for now. I know it'll improve. I know it'll change. I know things will happen. That's how it goes. Thank you for coming along for the journey. Thank you for all your comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. But other than that, I'm Cmanvlogga, and thank you all for watching the video. And I'm out of here in 3, 2, 1. Peace out, my ninjas. That means friends in Ojibwe.